light burning bright, yeah, no stop. Wheels screaming, spit that fire, dirt and gravel, they pop. Oh, slick under the street lights, the shadows start to dance. Adrenaline like thunder, man, give me that last chance. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby, this is raw real. Crowds gather up like wolves, howling for that speed. Races, blood pumping fast, gasoline is all they need. Tracks alive like a monster, the dirt flies and bends. Ruthless turns, heart turns savage till the night ends. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby, this is raw real. Underneath the moonlight, crowds roar so loud. Pride's in the throttle, nodding faces of a crowd. A brotherhood of metal, sweat, gears that grind. Cross that line or get left behind. Cold air cuts the dawn, still our fires rage. Holding bruises like trophies, exhaling battle cage. The stands are empty now, but the ghosts they remain. This dirt track story sings forever in our veins.
Woo! Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in for another night of amazing racing action as the Dirt Warrior Racing League's Wednesday night street fights get ready to rumble here from the beautiful Limaland Speedway. Limaland here this evening, Limaland Motorsport Park, ready to go to battle, ready to duke it out. Is starting on the pole here in heat race number 1 as we jump right into the action will be the 33 of James Ellington. Tim Taylor will start there to his outside with the number 71 rider, Will Hargreaves. New paint scheme, beautiful looking ride here for the Grumpy Graphics DWR ride of William Hargreaves there in third. James Stockton will start to his outside with Jacob Sexton and the 47 of Marcos Pace bringing up row number 3. In T-Jack, Tyler Jackson, our points leader, starting back in 7th as here we go for heat race number 1 as the 33 of Ellington gets a great launch, good jump, able to clear that 99 of Tim Taylor. Taylor going to try to stick right there to his back bumper as Will Hargreaves works the inside lane in. Here comes Tyler Jackson. T-Jack down low is there, 4 wide down through corner 1 and 2. 4 wide racing here at Limaland Motorsport Park here this evening as Tyler Jackson continue to work that inside lane, but out in front it is James Ellington who continues to lead the way as James Beaver in the chat. What's good, James? James coming in showing the love, says, what is up? What is up, James? How are you, brother? Is down across the line. They'll click off another lap. Ellington still out in front. 3 laps led for the number 33 machine here this evening as Will Hargreaves continues to try to reel him in. A little contact right there. Look out. That beautiful Dirt Panda ride getting a little bit squirrely. Going to lose a little bit of time, but now able to slide up and clear that 99 ride of Tim Taylor. So Will Hargreaves into second here. You look to see if he can try to work his way a little closer to the front of the field. Maybe trying to go after that 33 for the heat race win. But there's more contact. Look out. Tim Taylor gets a piece of the 71. That's going to stack them up. Here comes T-Jack. You look down low. Here comes Jacob Sexton, Marcos Pace, and James Stockton all right into the battle as the 8 rider Tyler Jackson jumps up into 3rd. So from the back of the pack, now into 3rd here for T-Jack as he's looking to try to gain as many points as possible, knowing that he needs to continue his good runs, his good drives to try to keep his championship dreams alive here this evening. After 9 races on the season, we head into race number 10, and for Tyler Jackson, he's got a pretty decent points lead, but it's never comfortable. You always want to make sure you continue to gain those points or not give up very many until you know you're good, until that final checkered flag in the season is thrown. And for T-Jack, he's looking to try to at least get one more spot here, earn himself at least another couple points here in this heat race. He's going to have 1 lap left to go here to try to figure out a way to get around Will Hargraves, because out in front, it's all James Ellington. As Ellington down through 3 and out of 4 will win heat race number 1 here this evening. So Ellington wins the first heat race of the day. Will Hargraves will come home in 2nd. Tyler Jackson there in 3rd. Tim Taylor, Jacob Sexton, Marcos Pace, our top 6 there in heat race number 1. As we'll get ready now for heat race number 2 here this evening. Heat race number 2 coming up next here, and for these drivers, going to be another great show, another great battle, and for a lot of these cats, they're going to have to duke it out again. They're going to have to try to find their way up and into victory lane here in heat race number 2, because starting on the pole, it's going to be a bit of a hairy one, maybe a little bit of a scary one. We got a good mixture of really fast drivers, some drivers that tend to do really good in the tacky, so it's going to be interesting to see really how Jason Calhoun will be able to hang on to it, as Calhoun will start in the pole position here this evening. To his outside will be the 20 ride, the Conky Floyd Consulting EJR ride of Mr. Philip Sexton. Down on the inside of row number 2 will be the TNT Racing number 45 of Mr. Stephen Burrow. To his outside, the 5 ride, that is Shane Matthews. Starting in position number 5 in the SS Speed Shop number 13, that is Evan Monaghan. To his outside in the 727, the Race On ride, that is Zach Clark, who will start there in 6. Starting back in position number 7 in the number 3 machine, the DWR Wheeler Metals WR1 slinganddirt.com number 3 machine, that is Jeremy Vaughn, who will bring up the rear of the field here in this one. So this means we're going to get ready to set them back loose. We're going to get ready to go back to battle here in this one, as Philip Sexton and Jason Calhoun on the front row, they get ready to go. Pace truck makes a hard left-hand turn back down pit side, and here we go. Green flag back in the air. Green flag for heat race number 2 is in the air for the 216 ride. Jason Calhoun able to slide up, clears that 2020 ride, and you do see that little bit of contact and damages. There's more down through corner number 3 and 4 here. Man, that was a big hit right there. Unfortunately, Evan Monaghan and Stephen Burrow both tied up into it. They both go around. That opens up the door for Zach Clark to jump up into position number 2 here on the Speedway. Let's take a quick look back and see the contact here as Burrow trying to work his way down low underneath of that 2020 ride. Is there some contact right there? That's where the 2020 ride loses that front bumper, and then down into corner number 3, you see the contact between Monaghan and Stephen Burrow as they see the 20 ride just push up the racetrack here. I thought maybe he got some contact out of it, but it looks like maybe just loses the front end, plows up the racetrack and up and into the middle of corner number 3 and 4. And you look at Zach Clark, that 727 ride, able to just force his way down and through there, able to avoid the 45 and the 13, and all of a sudden he finds himself driving up and into position number 2 into that second and final transfer spot here in heat race number 2. As Jason Calhoun, though, Calhoun's got the race lead. He's got the top spot. He's looking to try to win heat race number 2 here this evening. Zach Clark back there in tow with Philip Sexton trying to battle his way back up to the point here. He wants to try to put himself up and into the show here through heat race number 2. As Shane Matthews back in 4th. Jeremy Vaughn, who we saw get tight, have to push up the track to avoid The spun out number 13 and 45. Luckily enough, he was able to avoid contact with those drivers and keep on battling. As Monaghan back in 6th, Stephen Burrow back there in 7th. And unfortunately for those two, they're going to have to start deep in the field here this evening, but out in front with only 2 laps left to go. It's time to shine here for Jason Calhoun. Can he pick up the heat race winner? Can Zach Clark, Philip Sexton find their way around him and steal this heat race win? As Clark continues to look down to his inside, they make a little bit of contact as the white flag has been displayed. The 216 up the racetrack. Now here comes Philip Sexton. Sexton and Clark make some contact. Look out, they're beating and banging. Down into 3 and out of 4. Calhoun will hang on to it as Jason Calhoun will win heat race number 2 here this evening. Zach Clark in that second and final transfer spot as Philip Sexton, Shane Matthews, Jeremy Vaughn, Evan Monaghan, and Stephen Burrow will round out the field there in our second heat race of the day. As we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to roll here as heat race number 3 gets ready to roll out onto the racetrack. Heat race number 3 will line up like this. The 4X ride, the Car Works machine, that is Ryan Howard, who will start in the pole position. To his outside, the Cocky Floyd Consulting, Gage Farms, Sexton Paint and Body number 2020. It's the Mad Dog himself. It is Jeremy Sexton who will start there in second. Starting back in position number 3 in that beautiful blacklist number 47 ride, the beautiful orange and green machine. That is Tyler Ryan, who will start there in that third position. To his outside in the Tommy Gun Customs number 6 ride, that is the beautiful looking ride of Jamie Massey. As the showstopper will start there in 4th, back behind him, that is the 16 JR of Dustin Hennigan. Hennigan second in points here, knowing that he needs to get some more big wins to try to close that gap, to try to reel in Tyler Jackson for that point championship here in a few more weeks. To his inside, starting in 5th, will be Jeremy Akins, and back behind him, rounding out our 7-car field here in heat race number 3, it is Derek Rice. Again, 7 drivers, 2 will transfer through to our A-main feature event, as here we go, green flag back out into the air. Green flag is once again displayed for the 4X rider Ryan Howard, trying to get a good run down through 1 and 2. Unfortunately, does not find the speed that he was looking for. He will see the 2020 of Jeremy Sexton move right on and around him, and now here comes Jamie Massey, here comes Dustin Hennigan. They're looking to try to get around that 4X as well, and Hennigan, he knows he wants to try to stay pace or gain a little bit over Tyler Jackson here on the point standings throughout this race. So if he can jump up into second, he could tie T-Jack. T-Jack came second there, I do believe, in heat race number 1. So if the 16 ride can match him here, he doesn't lose anything, doesn't gain anything, as he's trying to make that pass on the 4X rider. Ryan Howard looks like he may be able to get it done, but he looks to continue to try to work that extreme high side, trying to get some good runs, trying to figure out a way to maybe get around Jamie Massey here for that second position, but it's all Jeremy Sexton. As Sexton, with a few car length lead, back down across the line, will complete lap number 4 here in this heat race. So 6 laps left to go here for the 2020 ride, and here we go. Here's a move down to the inside. Hennigan looking for that second spot. Massey, though, able to hang on to it, but there's contact. Look out. The 6 right on Massey almost goes around. Great piece of driving, able to hang on to it, able to keep that Tommy Gun Customs ride pointed the right direction, and keeps on battling as the HNL number 6 machine tries to stay in second. You see Hennigan again trying to just get wound up here on that outside lane, looking for a big run, looking for a drive where maybe he can jump back down low, try to find that speed and that line to maybe try to steal this second spot back away from Massey's. Here we go, down into corner number 1. A big run in a slide job out of Mr. Hennigan. As Hennigan got a good run out of 4, made that move to the inside, but here comes payback through 3 and 4, and it's a drag race back to the line. Just edging out in front with 2 laps left to go is that number 6 of Massey, but now you see more contact between them as Hennigan pulls another slider. More contact. Now here comes Tyler Ryan right into the middle of it, and this is exactly what Jeremy Sexton wants to see. Sexton loves to see this back there in the relative, seeing that these drivers continue to switch positions is down for the final time here in heat race number 3 through corner 3 and out of 4. Drag race for second. Massey, I do believe, will take that second position back away from Tyler Ryan, but it is Jeremy Sexton who picks up that heat race win. Massey, Tyler Ryan, Dustin Hennigan, Ryan Howard, and the rest of them rounding out our field there in heat race number 3. Man, what a run, what a drive, and what a battle right there for each and every one of those competitors, man. Heck of a show there in heat race number 3, and I feel we're going to see a lot more of the same here in our A main feature event, as 65 laps on the docket again here this evening. So 65 laps of green flag racing. Caution laps will not count for each and every one of these drivers. It's quite a bit of laps. That's a long time. This track is really going to change a ton here. So it's going to give you ample amounts of opportunities, a lot of different shots here to try to navigate your way up towards the front, to try to make some moves, put yourself into a better position, or if you get tied up in something early on, you lose a bunch of track spots or anything else, you know, you wait a little bit, you bide your time. More cautions, more carnage may come your way, may bring you right back into the battle late in this race. So there's never time to just sit back, relax, and give up anything. So it's going to be a lot of fun. As James Beaver says, I get to watch live instead of replay. Yes, sir, live instead of replay, 100%. Live all the time instead of the replays, man. That is always the best part about it. That's always the best part about YouTube and everything else. Or even if you want to go back and rewatch a heat race, if you missed something earlier, I mean, I know YouTube has that playback feature, so you can go back, rewatch something that may have just happened. You want to get another couple looks at it, that is your opportunity right there to jump back there, watch that heat race, watch some of the crazy racing that we've seen already transpire here in our heat races. That's one of the amazing things about YouTube, and one of the great things that we, you know, like it a little bit more than over on Facebook. Trust me, I love Facebook. I wish Facebook was still doing good. I wish Facebook never stopped pushing out content. Like, they just kind of killed all of the live streaming content. They went to only pushing out and only giving any kind of benefits to short form content, making reels and stuff like that. That's the only way that really anything gets pushed out over on Facebook. So it just kind of killed it, and they just kept diminishing everything that was good with Facebook and with Facebook gaming. So the quality can just be much, much better over here on YouTube. That way you guys can get a better, clearer picture. You can see the action much better, and you get some more cool benefits here on YouTube as well. So we love that. We love that aspect of it, man. And YouTube's been great so far. That we've been kind of going over here and multi-streaming and now focusing more alone on YouTube. Obviously, we still got to get a ton of our community from over on Facebook to come over here to the YouTube side. But man, it's been good. It's been awesome, man, being here on the Red site. So hopefully it continues to be good to us, and we continue to just pump out amazing content here over on YouTube. As drivers are out on the racetrack right now, you see them running some laps. They're getting a bit of a test in, tune in right now, making sure that their cars are absolutely perfect, absolutely set up and ready to roll here for their A main feature event. So we're going to see a lot of these guys. They're going to be up starting towards the front of the field. We'll go through the field a bunch here throughout the evening, but obviously for a lot of these drivers, you know, they're going to have opportunities to try to navigate their way towards the front here. If you didn't have a good heat race, you need to try to rebound. You need to try to have a good race, especially if you're in any of the tight points battles coming into this race. If points are tight for you, if you're getting close to, you know, potentially leapfrogging a couple drivers, putting yourself into a better position here in the point standings, then that's exactly what you're going to try to do. As right now, Tyler Jackson, T-Jack, is our points leader. Came into the night, I do believe, about 29 points ahead of Dustin Hennigan here. Hennigan, who's got 4 wins on the season, back-to-back wins, I do believe, for that 16 JR ride. He is second in the points. Jeremy Sexton tied there with Dustin Hennigan, so Hennigan and Sexton are tied. Tiebreaker goes to the driver, I do believe, with the most wins, which is Dustin Hennigan. So Hennigan and Sexton, both 29 points behind Tyler Jackson, need some big, big runs here in these closing races, as Evan Monaghan. Monaghan's been just having a good, slick, good season here. And for the 13 ride, Monaghan finds himself in position number 4, almost 40 points between himself and our 5th place driver here, William Hargraves. So Hargraves back in 5th. Tyler Ryan not too far off his back bumper there. Jim Rivas, who's unfortunately not here tonight, he's back in 7th in points, so that should move Ryan Howard and Philip Sexton, Stephen Burrow, and maybe a couple of these other drivers, maybe Shane Matthews up or Jeremy Vaughn up towards Jim there, just inside the top 10 here this evening. We'll have to wait and see what those point standings look like after tonight. But for Jordan LaFont's not here tonight. Jim Rivas isn't out there tonight. So for a few of these drivers, obviously not going to be earning any valuable points to put into their back pocket here this evening. No Kyle Moyer, no Jackie Whaley. No Jaden Glenn. There's so many amazing drivers that unfortunately aren't loaded into the race here this evening. Brian Wells, Kent McLean, not out there. Chad Puderbo, Ty Ralph, not out there. J.C. Floyd, Chris Hill, they're not out there. Kyle Surak, Garrett Marshall, Jason Martin. Man, there's so many amazing drivers that have been a part of this series here this season, and it'd be nice to get them all back out there for a couple final nights of the year. What's good, Timmy? Tim, the Toolman Taylor says, hey, Mr. Peacemaker, says, Papa's here. Papa's here, baby. We love to see that. We're happy. We're happy you're finally here, Timmy. We're happy you're finally here, brother. Good luck out there. Have some fun tonight, Tim, and hopefully we see that 99 ride up and in victory lane here this evening, as starting on the pole here tonight in this one, man, the TNT Racing, the Eager Beaver Ellington Construction Company, LLC, number 33 of James Ellington will start in that pole position. To his outside in the 216, that is Jason Calhoun, who will start in second. Starting in position number 3 in that number 2020 ride, that is Jeremy Sexton. To his outside will be the 71 of Will Hargraves. Starting in position number 5 in the 727 ride, that is Zach Clark. To his outside, the 6 machine is Jamie Massey. Starting in position number 7 in the number 8 ride, that is Tyler Jackson. You'll have Philip Sexton there to his outside with, I do believe it's Tyler Ryan and Tim Taylor rounding out our top 10. Dustin Hennigan, Shane Matthews, Jeremy Vaughn, Jacob Sexton, Marcos Pace, Ryan Howard, Jeremy Akins, Evan Monaghan, Stephen Burrow, James Stockton, and Derek Rice bringing up the rear of the field as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation. As we are quickly green flag racing, and can already see these drivers 2 wide, 3 wide, a little bit of 4 wide out there on the speedways. Everybody's looking to try to work their way to the front of the field. Is now, look out, there goes the 216 of Calhoun. Calhoun goes around our first caution flag of the day. As unfortunately looks like Stephen Burrow may have gotten some contact into that one. Obviously some pretty good damage here for that 216 ride. A lot of sparks coming out from that right front. He's going to have to head down pit road and try to get this car fixed up and repaired back out onto the racetrack. Let's take a look and see what happens here. Calhoun, unfortunately, going to get into corner number 1 here. So they complete the first lap. He's up on the high side. He's got Philip Sexton right here behind him. And I do believe down into corner number 3, Calhoun's going to send it in here. He's on the back bumper of the 71. And the 20 right just sends it up there a little bit harder, a little bit farther, as you do see the 216. The rear end kind of starts to go around on him here. So you see how all these other drivers are kicked out here. You look at the 71. So the 216 right there is just hung out way too far. Now, I don't know. Let's see if we can get another angle up there. I don't think there was contact already at this point. So I think for the 216 ride, oh, man, this is a tough angle here. Tough angle. Let's see if we can get another look here from, say, maybe far chase. Okay, yeah, right here. So this will give you a really, really good look at it. So he sends it into the corner, kind of in some of the slick stuff. And unfortunately, right here, that's where he loses the rear end. The 2020 Philip Sexton gets in there, not expecting him to lose all that forward drive. Gets into him, turns him around, and that brings out our first yellow flag of the day. As we head back to green flag racing. So the green flag back out into the air. And again, it's a battle between Ellington and the 2020 of Jeremy Sexton. But here comes Zach Clark. Here comes Will Hargraves. And there's more contact back there deeper in the field. So far, There it is. Okay, caution flag does fly once again. As this time looks like Marco's pace going to get tied together here. Potentially Evan Monaghan going to get tied up with them. So they're rolling the inside groove down into corner number 1 and 2. This seems to be kind of the area, and you're going to watch. Actually, it's Tim Taylor right there. Oh, man, Tim the Toolman Taylor just gets in there a little bit too far, trying to hold off that 13 ride of Monaghan, trying to stay to the back bumper of the 47. Shoots it in down low, gets a good run through some of the tacky stuff right there, and unfortunately, just too good of a run. Drives into the back end of the 47, jacks that thing up, and turns him sideways, and all of a sudden, Monaghan's just got nowhere to go as the 13 ride T-bones that 47 machine, and some pretty good contact there for the 47 and the 13 ride after that bump, and a bit of a run there from the 99 of Tim Taylor. And it's Anna, what's good, Mrs. Alessandro? Anna in the chat coming in, showing the love, says, what up, Peacemaker? What up, Anna? How are you, Mrs. Alessandro? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful, wonderful hump day here this evening. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, as here we go back to Green Flag Racing. Ellington with the restart gets a good launch once again. As look out, there goes Hennigan. Our second place driver in the points gets into one of those infield tires. Unfortunately, they do not move, and they can act as a jump in a quick hurry as they continue to lean on each other back here deeper in the field as each and every driver trying to navigate their way to the front. They're still 3-4 wide, beating and banging, battling down the back straightaway into corner number 3. Nice and easy out of corner number 4. Looks like it's going to be a tight race once again as here comes Hennigan down to the inside of Derek Rice. Rice trying to keep him back there at bay as the 4X trying to use the outside lane as everybody's trying to get everything they can, and unfortunately that causes a lot of contact and a lot of chaos as out in front it's Tyler Jackson. T-Jack jumps out in front. So for the Alpha Shark, number 8 machine now has the race lead as the caution flag will come back out. So the yellow flag will fly. We'll have to wait and see how iRacing scores this one and who they give that race lead to down and across the line. Will it still be T-Jack out in front? Will he have the top position here this evening as we take a look and see that potentially some more contact here between Evan Monaghan, Jeremy Akins, Stephen Burrow is right here. Going to see some contact in front of them. And then, oh, Derek Rice already slow here on the racetrack, and they just kind of get all bound together, and Rice kind of just bounces into Monaghan here a couple times. So let's take a look at the 13. Actually, let's take a look at the 357 ride right here of Derek Rice. So it looks like Rice just getting bounced around here in this one. Unfortunately, wrong place, wrong time, and right here on corner exit, him and the 16 JR of Hennigan get tied together. It shoots Henny up the racetrack here. He's trying to keep himself out of the outside fence. Unfortunately, the 357 still hooked into him there, goes up the track, loses a ton of speed and momentum, and this is where we're going to see that 7 ride of Akins run into that left rear quarter panel of that 357 ride, and then they're just tight down and out of quarter number 1. And you see Monaghan goes for the big run, goes for the big drive here to get around that 357 ride, and he's just going to shoot back down to the inside, runs in to a tight hole right there, and unfortunately finally kicks that 13 ride around, and that brings the caution flag back out. As here we go back to Green Flag Racing. T-Jack out in front. Jeremy Sexton now right to his outside there, door to door for the top spot. Here comes Massey. He's right into the mix. Jamie's trying to get hooked up here on that outside lane as T-Jack will lead another lap here at Limaland Motorsport Park. Is now Massey down to the inside. The showstopper trying to find something down low. Unfortunately, ran out of room. Had some contact there between him and T-Jack, as this is the racing action we love to see, man. Non-stop, amazing battling out there on the racetrack, man, and hopefully it stays this way. We know this racetrack tends to change quite a bit. It'll go from the bottom side to the high side. Drivers will continue to move around, and once it kind of gets into that freight train line, a lot of times we can see it stay that way, or we can see this track continue to change. And after 12 laps, you see a lot of drivers already starting starting to migrate their way up and into that outside lane. You see a ton of them back here outside our top 5, right up against that outside fence, being led right now by the 727 ride of Zach Clark. He's got Philip Sexton right there behind him. Here comes Tyler Ryan, Jacob Sexton, and Shane Matthews rounding out our top 10. James Stockton there in the 11th position with Tim Taylor, Derek Rice, Ryan Howard there in 14th, Marcos Pace back in that 15th position. It's Jeremy Vaughn, Stephen Burrow, Dustin Hennigan back there in position number 18. That's Evan Monaghan, Jeremy Akins in the 216 of Jason Calhoun bringing up the rear of the field. And some great racing, some great action here, and they continue to duke it out here at the front as Cassandra Arn says, "Go Tyler." Cheering on T-Jack here this evening as Alan Fiddler Music says, "Let's go Ellington." Awesome stream, loving the commentary. We absolutely love that, Alan. We appreciate you tuning in and showing the love here this evening as T-Jack, Tyler Jackson, continues to lead the way. The Alpha Shark, he's got the Mad Dog and the Showstopper right there behind him. Can one of them jump up and try to steal the win away from the Alpha Shark here this evening? As Sexton in that blue, white, and yellow number 2020 ride just rolling the outside lane as you see the 6 rider Massey trying to get a good run down low right there. Made a mistake down through 1 and 2. That may cost him dearly as here comes a bit of that freight train in the outside lane. Here comes that 33 of James Ellington, who now is working his way on the outside as there's contact. Look out. Oh, baby, it's elbows up racing here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I think no grumpy old man Jim Revis is not out there, so I think some of these drivers are a little bit more aggressive here this evening. We've seen the beating and bang, and we love it. We love the full fendered action, but it causes reactions just like that as around goes the number 101 of Jacob Sexton in the 727 of Zach Clark. Man, tough break right there. Jacob Sexton and Zach Clark both having absolutely unreal races here. And you see Clark, maybe for showing some of his frustrations, jumps down pit road here, will make that pit stop. And unfortunately, he may be down pit road here for an extended period of time. But let's take a look back at it as it kind of just gets stacked up, downing out at corner number 2 here. So a good run coming from that 727 ride. And right here, there's contact. So there's contact from the 20 and the 33 ride. That gets Ellington kind of bent out of shape, trying to enter into corner number 3 here. The car's just bent out of shape after the contact between him and Philip Sexton. Pushes the 33 up the racetrack. He bounces it off the outside fence. Obviously, for the 727 ride of Clark, he sees it happening. He's trying to get checked up. Unfortunately, for the drivers back behind him, they don't get checked up quick enough. And that's just going to bring this 101 ride of Jacob Sexton right into his rear housing here, and unfortunately it's going to spin the 727 around. Here comes the 5 right of Matthews, who will drive right into that 101 machine, and unfortunately that's going to spin Sexton around. Here comes Stockton. He's going to get a piece of it as well, and unfortunately for Jacob Sexton and Zach Clark, looks like both drivers have taken their rides back down pit road, and looks like their night may be coming to an end early here this evening, as here we go. Once again, another good restart there for Tyler Jackson. T-Jack now more in the outside lane here. He's got to try and find a run. He's got to try to keep that 2020 ride back there at bay as Jeremy Sexton knows that he needs to have a big run. He needs to have a good race. Came into this race being our 10th of 12 races here in the championship, knowing that he's 29 points behind that 8 ride of Tyler Jackson. So if he loses here to T-Jack, if T-Jack keeps him back there at bay, he's only going to build that points lead. He's only going to extend that difference here in that points championship with now one less race under their the belt here for all these drivers. So that being said, knowing that you only got 2 races left, you need to make up almost 30 points. It's going to get really, really tough there for Jeremy Sexton. So he's looking to have a big run here this evening, trying to win this race. Hope that T-Jack will fall back a few more spots here out on the racetrack where he can try to draw him in, get a little closer, and put a little bit more pressure onto the back bumper of that DWR iRacing I-Flag number 8 ride as the Alpha Shark continues to lead the way. Massey working the outside lane. He will take over second here, and he is looking for maybe the race lead as he's coming with a whole head of steam up there on that outside groove. He's been finding a lot of speed, and I think for a lot of these drivers, they may have to start to see it. They may have to see that he is rolling that outside groove, but I think for Tyler Jackson even, maybe just trying to run that bottom middle lane, trying to keep yourself away from that outside fence. You do not want to run into a problem, get a black flag, have an issue, or anything else for, riding the wall or anything here. So, yeah, a lot of these drivers that are in that points championship battle, they're going to look to take it a little easier, maybe even give up that preferred lane just to try to salvage at least a good run down low and not have any of those post-race infractions or any of these black flags that could potentially ruin your night. So for T-Jack, he just continues to hit his marks though down low, out in front, looking great, looking pretty here this evening as Massey and Jeremy Sexton continue to hunt him down. Philip Sexton up into that 4th position as James Ellington continues to round out our top 5. Will Hargraves there in position number 6 with Tyler Ryan there in 7th. Shane Matthews, James Stockton, and Dustin Hennigan rounding out our top 10 here on the Speedways. Hennigan rolling that inside lane as well here. Came in tied for 2nd in the point standings. Has that tiebreaker between himself and Jeremy Sexton, but for Sexton, rolling in 3rd, Hennigan back here in 10th. Could be a good point stay there for him to try to open up a bit of a points lead between himself and what could be now our 3rd place driver in the point standings, Dustin Hennigan. Obviously not the run that he was hoping for. Early contact, we saw him slide deeper in the field, and he just hasn't been able to really gain that track position back, and unfortunately for the 16 JR, continues the battle here for that 10th position with the 47 of Marco's pace. Tim Taylor there in 12th with Jeremy Vaughn back in position number 13. Then we see Evan Monaghan. Monaghan rolling there in 14th. Stephen Burrow rounding out our top 15 with Derek Rice, Ryan Howard, and Jeremy Aikens rounding out our 18 drivers still left battling here in this one. Zach Clark, Jacob Sexton, and Jason Calhoun all unfortunately parked their rides for the evening here today. So unfortunately, it looks like Clark, Sexton, and Calhoun will be done here this evening from Limaland Motorsport Park. As out in front, the heat is on. Here comes a big move down to the inside. The showstopper, Maxey, looking for the race lead. Slides up in front of T-Jack. He'll cut back down low, looking for the crossover down through corner number 3 and 4. This could be the battle for the win here this evening, or this could just be maybe a little bit of strategy for a couple of these drivers. If you're Tyler Jackson, do you want to push? Do you want to battle hard here for this top position? Or do you maybe just allow the 6th ride to go? Burn up your stuff, burn up your equipment, hope to catch your caution flag later in this race and have those better tires in the closing portion of this feature event. Maybe having that extra little bit of tire wear may be beneficiary to you, even if you slide back to 3rd, maybe 4th out there on the racetrack. If you got that extra 10% right rear, or maybe, 15, 20, 30%, that may make a difference between you running, half a tenth quicker or maybe even half a second quicker out there on the racetrack with those better tires. And that could be all you need to steal a late race win away from Massey or Sexton or any of these other drivers. So if you're T-Jack, you got to kind of just roll with the punches here. Keep running your race, kind of keep running your line, and not give up too much too early out there on the speedway. As Jamie Massey, though, leads us down into corner number 1, back down into corner number 2. He'll take us down the back straightaway here and down in through 3 and corner number 4. Back down across the line, Jamie Massey will lead lap number 43 here this evening. So the laps are getting clicked down in a quick hurry here this evening. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you guys do us a favor. Hit the like button, hit that subscribe button right now, and make sure you jump into the comment section and let us know who you want to see up in victory lane. Do you want to see the showstopper, Jamie Massey, work his way back into victory lane here this evening with the Dirt Warrior Racing League? Or do you think maybe the Alpha Shark, Tyler Jackson, will get it done? Maybe the Mad Dog, Jeremy Sexton, will steal it away from both of them here this evening, as we do see the caution flag come back out, and right there with them you see what transpired, as that is the 71 of Will Hargraves. I do believe it was also the number 37 ride here, also getting tied up in it. So let's take a look back. So it's Stockton and Hargraves right here getting tied together, and it's Stockton rolling the outside lane. Gets a great run, but it comes after already some hard contact. So we see the 33 and the 20 right here battling door to door. They're going to make contact right there, and Ellington almost goes around. Hargraves drives into the side of him, keeping him pointed in the right direction. It gets Hargraves kind of bent to shape. Big run to the outside for that 37 right, and coming off of core number 4. I just don't think Hargraves really expected or potentially realized that that 37 right was going to be there. And unfortunately, just kind of in the wrong spot for James Stockton, trying to take advantage of that contact and slip up out of the 71. Is now he'll slide up the track. They run out of room. They both get up into the outside fence here, and unfortunately, as they get tied together, it's just going to spin them both back up into the fence. They keep pounding it, and finally you see that 71 ride pointed the wrong direction, stopped there on the speedway, and that's where the caution flag flies once again. As the green flag, though, back out into the air for Jamie Massey. Is Massey. Good restart, good launch, but here comes the young gun, Dustin Hennigan. We talked about Hennigan, how he kind of fell back early in this race. I thought maybe it was from some contact, maybe from that point, maybe he was thinking a little bit more strategy, knowing that he gave up some of that track position, and now here he is looking to take that track position back away and looking to try to navigate his way into the battle here at the front of the field, as he's now in to position number 4, but it's all Jamie Massey. As the showstopper out in front leads the way, Tyler Jackson there in second, Jeremy Sexton in third, Penny, Mr. Dustin Hennigan there in position number 4, and then it's a battle for Evan Monaghan and Tyler Ryan there in that 5th and 6th position. Shane Matthews holding on to 7th with Jeremy Vaughn down to his inside, Tim Taylor in position number 9, and James Ellington rounding out our top 10 here on the Speedway. Stephen Burrow there in position number 11 with Will Hargraves now back up into 12th here. He's looking to try to continue his march back up towards the front of the field as James Stockton there in 13th. Jeremy Aikens in 14th. Ryan Howard rounding out our top 15 with Derek Rice, Philip Sexton, Marcos Pace, Zach Clark, Jacob Sexton, and Jason Calhoun rounding out the field. But out in front, it's all Jamie Massey's. Massey continues to lead the way as we inch closer and closer to the checkered flag here this evening. Down and across the line, he'll complete lap number 52. So that means only 13 laps left to go here in this one. 13 laps left to duke it out here this evening from Limaland Motorsport Park. Who will it be? Will it be that number 6 machine of Tyler Jackson who gets it done and finds his way, or Jamie Massey who finds his way into victory lane, or maybe the 8 ride of Tyler Jackson there in second? Can he find his way back around the 6 ride and put himself up and into the top spot? Jeremy Sexton, we saw lead a few laps here, the 2020 ride back there in position number 3. Does he have anything left up his sleeve? Can he make some moves? Can he make a couple big shots here and try to steal away a second or potentially race win here this evening? Dustin Hennigan, who we saw go to the back, has worked his way back to the front. The 16JR, I do believe, looking for his 3rd win in a row here on the series. He's won 4 races already here this year, and I do believe it has been back-to-back wins here for that 16JR, and yes, it has 2 wins back-to-back. Able to get the dub back at USA International Speedway, won last Wednesday at Oswego Speedway, and for that 16JR ride, trying to get it done here for the 3rd race in a row. Trying to come home here a little closer to the front of the field as he works on the back bumper here of Jeremy Sexton, trying to find his way around that 2020 ride. You see Evan Monaghan right there in the battle, and here comes Tyler Ryan. Ryan's poking his nose into the fun here as well as he rolls there in 6th. Jeremy Vaughn back in 7th with Shane Matthews, Tim Taylor, James Ellington, our top 10 here on the Speedway. But out in front, the laps continue. to get wound down. We inch closer and closer to our checkered flag here this evening as Jamie Massey continues to lead the way down into corner number 3. Nice and easy out of corner number 4 for Jamie Massey back down across the line. It is a big whopping high five here from the flag man. 5 more laps left to go here this evening. 5 more laps here for Jamie Massey to try to park himself back up into the DWRL victory lane here this evening as Massey continues to lead the way. 4 laps left here. T-Jack there in second. He's starting to open up a bit of a gap between himself and Jeremy Sexton here. So he's a few car lengths back of our race leader. He's got a little bit of extra breathing room now between himself and that 2020 machine. And then you do see Dustin Hennigan battling there with Tyler Ryan. Evan Monaghan's right outside of that battle for the top 5 here this evening as he rolls back in position number 6. But Jeremy Vaughn in 7th. Shane Matthews having some great runs there in that 7th and 8th position. Ellington back in 9th, and Tim Taylor right now rounding out our top 10. But for Jamie Massey down and across the line, he will see the white flag fly. And for Jamie Massey, he's got 1 more lap left to go here this evening for the final time. He'll lead us down into corner number 3. Nice and easy out of 4 as the showstopper will find his way back into victory lane here with the dirt street stocks as Massey will get it done and pick up race win number 10 here on the season with the Dirt Warrior Racing League's Wednesday night street fights. As the showstopper Jamie Massey picks up the dub, he'll pull himself up and into victory lane here this evening. Tyler Jackson will come home in second, and Jeremy Sexton will round out our top 3. Dustin Hennigan, Evan Monaghan, Tyler Ryan rounding out our top 5. Jeremy Vaughn, Shane Matthews, James Ellington, and Tim Taylor will round out our top 10 with James Stockton, Will Hargraves, Ryan Howard, Stephen Burrow, Derek Rice, Jeremy Akins, Philip Sexton, Marcos Pace, Zachary Clark, Jacob Sexton, and Jason Calhoun will round out our field here in this one. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for all these drivers, man. Absolutely amazing show, absolutely amazing race here this evening. And make sure you guys congratulate our race winner, Jamie Massey. As Massey picks up the win, make sure you guys congratulate our race winner here this evening as we'll get ready to pull Jamie and the rest of our top 3 up and into the broadcast booth for their post-race interviews coming up next. We'll get ready to pull them up into the booth here this evening as we wait for Massey. We'll wait and see when he can slide in here. As of right now, we're waiting on him and potentially Tyler Jackson to slide into the waiting room. But for right now, we do have Jeremy Sexton, so let's pull in our 3rd place finisher first here this evening. Hey Jeremy, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Jeremy, man, solid run, great drive here this evening. Obviously, some great tight battling there at the front of the field between yourself, Tyler Jackson, Jamie Massey. You throw in that 16 right ahead again late in this race. Ellington's up there battling with you as well for quite a while, man. Take us back through what's going through your mind after a very solid 3rd place run here this evening.
No, I'm just glad it's over, to be honest, man. I'm fighting a flu and got my back throwed out on top of it, and hadn't really been able to race much since last week actually, and it was all I could do to even see half the laps. My eyes are watering so bad.
Well, it sounds like you are going through it here tonight, man, and somehow or another, even dealing with all that adversity and everything else, you're still able to come home with a very solid 3rd place run here in this one, man. It's got to feel pretty good that you're able to get back in here and still be able to, perform as well as you did due to your circumstances.
Yeah, man, it's tough. I had to give up the points in another league. Wasn't able to run, but it's all good. I didn't want to miss this one, and I know I squeezed Jamie one time early. I didn't realize he was that close. I had looked at my relative briefly, and it said 0.2, so I thought I was good, but he must have got a massive run off of 3, and he said it was all good, though. And then I think the same thing happened with Hennigan late. I guess he was ripping the top, and this track's so small that when you look, you think you have enough gap you can slide up, but they close it really fast on you.
Yeah, absolutely. The track is super small. Those runs that they get up on the outside lane are absolutely massive, and those holes can definitely close up in a quick hurry. And unfortunately, yeah, some contact, but that is part of the fun here with these dirt street stocks, full fendered racing. A little bit of rubbing and scrubbing, a little bit of elbows up racing here. We saw a lot of beating and banging, battling, drivers leaning on each other throughout the field here this evening, just putting on a great show for us here on this fine Wednesday night. And you're able to come home with another very good run, another solid third place performance, another trip up here onto the podium for you. I know the season is coming to a wind. You're looking to try to win that championship, obviously, with T-Jack being able to finish here in front of you tonight. Obviously, those points are going to be, roughly about the same, maybe giving a little bit more back to that 8 ride of T-Jack here this evening, man. But getting down to the nitty-gritty, being able to just maybe survive and come home second in the point standings, or if Tyler has a bad week, maybe you leapfrog him and jump in front of him, man, as it's going to get a little bit nerve-wracking knowing that, the points in the battles are going to be this tight and this tough for the last 2 races of the season.
Oh, definitely. I don't want to wish bad luck on anybody. It's just part of it. And that's one thing I've noticed ever since we first started getting on here racing is T-Jack has a tremendous car awareness and track awareness. He's rarely in a wreck. Now, he did take me out the other night in another league, but I had to rub him a little bit about that. No, he's just very aware of what's going on. And, I used to think it was luck, but I think it's just paying attention. It's almost like his head's on a swivel. He can see stuff happening before it ever even transpires. So I don't foresee anything crazy happening unless his power goes out or something crazy.
Well, you might have to send Jacob or Philip over there to make that happen. But, man, another great run, another great race for you here tonight, brother, as you come home in third. Jeremy, who would you like to thank again here for another great night of racing action?
Uh, thank God, first and foremost, for being able to put up with this sickness and pain long enough to get on here and make this race. Like to thank all of our guys at the kennel that races with us. I'll probably forget everybody if I start naming them. All the guys at Cocky Floyd, JC and them, you for the broadcast, Jim, Whaley, T-Jack, all the guys that do the league, and everybody that watches this. My buddy Dave watches still, and hopefully everybody enjoyed it, and catch y'all next week.
Absolutely,
And
brother.
congrats to Massey on the win.
Absolutely, brother. Jeremy, heck of a run, heck of a drive here this evening, man. And hopefully we'll see you back up here in the broadcast booth next Wednesday night. Hopefully feeling a whole lot better. Obviously no longer having the flu and hopefully not having any of that back pain. And hopefully back to 100% where you get to battle and duke it out here once again next week with these amazing drivers.
Definitely, man. Thank you again.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher, Jeremy Sexton. Jeremy comes home in third here this evening. As great run, great drive there for the Mad Dog. The 2020, they're in that third position, is now in the waiting room waiting for us. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's bring in our race winner, Jamie Massey. As Massey picks up the dub here this evening, let's get that number 6 ride up here into the booth. Hey, Jamie, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You getting happy?
What up, man?
Not much, Jamie, brother. It feels like it's been a while since we've seen you up here in Victory Lane, but here tonight at Limaland Motorsport Park, you're finally able to break through and put yourself back up here into Victory Lane, one of our broadcasts here with the Dirt Warrior Racing League, man. Take us back through it. What's going through your mind after some very tight, very intense racing here, lap after lap after lap, with T-Jack, Jeremy Sexton, Hennigan, Monaghan, all these amazing drivers out there duking it out with you here tonight.
Yeah, first thing is in the heat race. So for whatever reason, when I did an update on my wheel, and when I loaded into the sim, it put everything on stock. Like all my wheel settings was on stock, and I didn't even pay no attention. I was in Discord just talking. I made a few little laps there, wasn't paying attention. We go out for the heat race, and I was having to turn my wheel like a full rotation because I run 6 to 1. I was having to turn that thing a full. I was driving I'm talking about sweating, trying to hold on to everything I had there. So apologize to anybody I got into, but I had a handful in the heat race, and I just knew that we had to, you know, get ourselves in a good position in the race there. And I got to the bottom early, and I was kind of just cruising around the bottom and letting them two guys race, and um, I figured it would go to the top eventually, and that caution came out, and I think there was like two cautions back to back. I had a good run on the top one time, and the caution came right back out, so I didn't want to show my hand. I tried not to go up there above them, like get to them. And Sexton picked the bottom, and I was like, okay, it's time to go try to get the lead. And I got the lead, and then me and Tyler kind of raced there, throwing sliders back and forth. And I just needed to time it right, and finally we got the lead, and I ran the top, and I knew that he would try to run the top with me, and I'm pretty good at doing that. So we got away a little bit, and in that last caution, I just kind of migrated to the middle and felt like I had a little better tire and could just kind of cruise. I think we had the car to win last week. Just got spun out in the heat race and had to started deep and just didn't get it done.
Yeah, absolutely. Started deep there here tonight, not as far back. You start there in that sixth position. You work your way up into the top five pretty quickly, and then up inside the top three. As you said, you make that decisive decision. When to kind of go, when to start to use those tires up, and you make your move there. And obviously, yeah, tight battle there with you and Jeremy, and then a good battle there with you and T-Jack for the race lead. Obviously, Tyler knowing that not only would the win potentially catapult him into a much larger points lead, but obviously knowing that doesn't want to get you hot, man. Once you seem to start to find victory lane, it's hard to keep you out of it. And it's a lot like Dustin Hennigan here on the year, man. You guys kind of get a little bit of fire underneath of you, and it just starts to snowball here for everybody else. So I think T-Jack, he was trying his best there, trying to keep you out of the top spot, not only for his point situation, but also for trying to keep you kind of back there at bay and maybe a little bit, not as heated up as what you may be here for the final few weeks of the season.
Yeah, man, I only race when I can, and it's fun to not have no pressure on you when it comes to a championship. I've always raced for these championships and had a lot of pressure on me and had to, be cautious and do this and do all the right things when I can just come in here and race for a win. And like I went and right before the race, I kind of went and looked to see where the points was and tried to, race around the guys who are racing for a championship because I've been that guy. You know what I mean? Some guy come in for just a win and shit on them. So I didn't want that to happen, and I just wanted to be. That's why, like, I wasn't trying to run the same lines. I was trying to find something different, so I couldn't get into them, and just be respectful, man, and have a good race, and get out front. I mean, listen, I don't race these cars a lot, but when I do, we're pretty good. And we run Tuesday night, yesterday night in Monsters of Dirt, so I got a little feel of the cars. We got the win over there in that league, and got a little feel of the cars and get comfortable. And I think we won last Monday in DWR as well and at Oswego. So just when we can run them, we're pretty decent and they're fun, and I enjoy racing with all these guys.
Absolutely. So maybe already looking like the onslaught of victories here for that sixth machine has gotten underway. So it may be tough weeks here for these guys closing out the season. But man, that was a lot of fun and another great show for us here tonight in this one as the showstopper finds his way back into victory lane here at Limaland Motorsport Park. Jamie, who would you like to thank for another great run, great performance, and another W here in these Dirt Street Stocks?
As always, the roots. I want to thank all the people who got me here in these cars. I've had a lot of great teams along the line. DWR, all the guys who have been on my team over the years. Carl Kilgore, even Keith Hackney. Even though we don't see eye to eye, even Keith Hackney. A lot of these guys got me to where I'm at in the street stocks, and Jim and all the guys, Daniel, JC Floyd, all them guys that are great in these cars have got me here, and I want to thank all them guys for racing me clean over the years and letting me enjoy these cars. I want to thank Papa Mike's Promotions and Mama Bear. They've always been a great sponsor of mine when it comes to street stocks or anything. They help me on and off the sim, so I want to thank them guys. I want to thank DWR for putting this deal on. And like I said, I'm glad they brought it back to a league, and it's like points type deal. It's something that you look forward to at the end. Something you're racing for. You're actually racing for something. So that's pretty cool, and they got a good thing going. They're a great group of guys. I want to thank you as one of the best broadcasters there is. I want to thank all my guys over at H&L, my Redeem Designs for the beautiful car, and which I wasn't in it tonight, but he's the best there is. Yeah, just all my teammates, man, and see y'all maybe when we can. Like I said, I ain't committed to nothing, and I probably won't be here next week. It's just got to make sense. When it makes sense, we'll be here. So we'll see what happens. Thank you, man.
Absolutely, brother. Well, we can't wait for the next time we get to see you out there on the racetrack, and hopefully it makes sense to just see you right back up here in victory lane. Jamie, congrats on the dub, brother, and we can't wait to get you back out there in the next one.
Thank you, buddy.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Jamie Massey picks up the dub here this evening, parking that 19 ride up and into victory lane as we'll get ready now to pull in our second place finisher, the number 822 ride, or the 8 ride. I don't know what number he actually kind of goes by. I believe it's just 8 on the car, so we'll say it's the 8 machine of Tyler Jackson coming home here second tonight, man. Let's get T-Jack up here into the booth. Hey, Tyler, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. To get a copy? Hey, Tyler, you get a copy? Oh.
There I go.
Tyler, oh, there we go. Okay. All right, T-Jack, brother. Heck of a run, heck of a drive here this evening as you're able to park that Alpha Shark machine back up here on the podium, man. Another second place run here this evening. Take us back through it and how you feeling after another, podium performance here this evening.
Yeah, it was a pretty good race. Starting 7th was good because I knew the bottom was fast right away, and we were able to get to the lead, just running the bottom, and then man, I got out front and I just didn't know where to go. I just felt like a sitting duck there without mirrors, and I knew the bottom would go away. And then I've been kind of running the slider line here, and the last few races it's worked. And then tonight, yeah, and Massey was. I knew he was on me, and then one time I heard car outside from the spotter, but the relative told me zero point 0.4 seconds, so that kind of threw me off. But it kind of gave me an idea he must have been running the top, and then once he got by me, I figured out he was kind of running a cut down line and in 3 and 4 a little bit, and tried to battle with him, tried to throw some sliders with him, but yeah, once he got to the front there, then it seemed like the track kind of locked down right in the middle, and just didn't have anything for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially after that last restart, he kind of jumped more towards that middle cushion and just kind of hugged it right there and was able to keep you back there at bay. And obviously, just couldn't quite get enough run or drive to be able to get back to his inside or even to his outside and try to size him up for another good battle here late in this race. But man, you're able to come home in second. Another good point stay here for you. Obviously, now 10 races completed on the season. You only got 2 races left to go here for this championship. You came into the night almost 30 points to the positive, 29 points to be exact here between yourself and Jeremy Sexton and Dustin Hennigan, and here you are able to kind of stay level pace with them, maybe even gain a little bit on Dustin and Jeremy here this evening, man. It's got to feel pretty good knowing that you're able to potentially extend that points lead here after tonight.
Yeah, when we drew a 7, I didn't think we'd probably even crack the top 5 in our heat, but luckily we got the bottom rolling early in the heat too, so luckily we were able to get a little points there. Jeremy had a good draw. I think he drew a 2. Looking at it, looks like Jeremy gained 1 on me and we gained 3 on Hennigan. So yeah, good points night. Only guy that beat us isn't running for points, so yeah, we're the top guy out of the guys running for points. But when they finish, 1 spot and 2 spots behind you, you don't really gain much. But we didn't lose anything, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Could have been a whole lot worse for you. Could have been better, but still, at the end of the day, it's a top 3 run and another solid podium finish here for yourself as you come home here in position number 2. Tyler, who would you like to thank for, again, another solid run, another great drive out there on the racetrack?
Yeah, thank you for the broadcast, Jim. All he does, he's with his wife tonight, so that was good that he spent some time with her and he's get himself out of the doghouse from spending all the Wednesdays hanging out with us. And yeah, we got to look at the replays and try to see if there's any penalties or anything. So we got a little bit of work to do, so we'll handle that. And yeah, thanks to my parents for watching, friends and family that watch, and Josh Patterson for the wrap. I believe it's JP Graphics, I believe is the name of his business. But got us looking good. Man, still trying to get another win, man. We're only got one win on the season, and usually I like to try to bat like 20%, 25% is kind of what I hope for. So we need a good run here at Williams Grove, and maybe we'll get another W.
Yeah, absolutely. Williams Grove, Lucas Oil coming up. 2 tracks. I know you're going to be fierce and looking to try to find victory lane, and not only just to, get those wins up, but also try to extend that points lead coming down to that championship. Tyler, we can't wait to see you back in action here for the final 2 races of the season here, the next 2 Wednesday nights until I think it's season 21 here, or 23 of the Dirt Warrior Racing League Wednesday night street fights, man, and that is going to be exciting shows, exciting racing, and hopefully both those races we can get you right back up here into the broadcast booth and watch you track down another championship.
Yeah, Williams Grove should be good for us. I'm a little nervous with the no mirrors at Williams Grove because it's kind of chaotic to begin with guys around the bottom slowing down early and guys throwing it in and around the top. So we'll see what happens with no mirrors. Tonight I felt like up front was pretty smooth. I don't know what happened in the back, but quite a few cautions. But it's a quarter mile. It's to be expected. And track had a couple, 2, 3, 4 different grooves for a little while. So it's nice when you get to these tracks that you have options, and just didn't make the right choices tonight. But we'll always try again next week.
Absolutely, brother. Well, we can't wait to see you back out there and hopefully see you right back up here, potentially one spot better and into victory lane. Tyler, enjoy the rest of your night, and congrats again on the 2nd place finish.
All right, congrats to Jamie and Jeremy on their finishes. We'll see you next week.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our 2nd place finisher, Tyler Jackson. T-Jack comes home here in position number 2 here this evening, man. Great run, great drive there for that 8 machine, the Dirt Warrior Racing League iRacing iFlag number 8 Ryan coming home there in position number 2 here this evening, but it was all Jamie Massey able to pick up the dub, able to find victory lane here this evening at Limaland Motorsport Park here this evening. Massey finds his way back up and into the Dirt Warrior Racing League victory lane here this evening, which could be an onslaught for him, but maybe not being here next week, maybe opening the door here for T-Jack to try to find his way back up and into victory lane, or potentially our winningest driver here on the season. Do we see Dustin Hennigan jump back in and pick up his 5th win of the season, or potentially Jeremy Sexton trying to close that points lead between himself and Tyler Jackson? Picking up a big win could draw him in closer, really put that pressure on Tyler here for our championship race in 2 weeks' time. But unfortunately, that is going to do it for us here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and showing the love here throughout the evening, man. Absolutely amazing action, absolutely amazing racing, man. We hope that each and every one of you guys enjoyed the amazing battles here tonight at Limaland Motorsport Park, and hopefully we'll get you guys back in here for the next show, the next race. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys do us a favor, hit that subscribe button right now, turn those bell notifications on. That way you never miss it when we go green flag racing here on Peacemaker Gaming. Unfortunately, though, that's going to do it for us here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in. And we'll catch y'all back here in the next one, man. Peace out for now, ladies and gentlemen. Peace out for now.
Roaring engines rip the night, burning bright, yeah, no stop. Wheels screaming, spit that fire, dirt and gravel, they pop. Oh, slick under the street lights, the shadows start to dance. Adrenaline like thunder, man, give me that last chance. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby. Limaland battle cage. The stands are empty now, but the ghosts they remain. This dirt track story sings forever in our veins. Wednesday night street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby, this is raw real. This is raw real.